What's up guys, Scopetactics here with another World of Tanks tank review. And no, your eyes are not fooling you. That is a BTSV in my garage. And there are only a few ways you can get hold of this little beast. Either via bonus code at one of Wargaming's events like Tankfest, by purchasing a boxed World of Tanks gift set from Russia, or by being the next beta tester. And if you choose to buy a gift package, don't expect to get one of these cheaply. I won't go into any more details, but you usually have to pay an arm and a leg for one of these things. If that wasn't enough good news, well, I was going to keep this a surprise until next week, but I can't seem to keep my mouth shut. I should have a Panzer IIJ to review as well next week. And these are going to be in my garage forever. I did get them via, the gift shop thing. It was a pain in the ass to get. And I don't expect many of you will ever see one outside of reviews on YouTube. I played 1 or 2 games in it last night when I had it, and the reactions you get. People have never seen this thing before. They're like, what the hell is that thing? I've never seen it. Oh, the most popular one is where people think you're hacking the game. So, you're not a press account. How could you possibly have that tank? I'm going to report you to Wargaming. Yeah, there are actually people that stupid. Anyway, I think that's enough drooling over the prestige of this tank. Let's just have a quick look at it, shall we? Now, we look at this. It's a pretty weird looking machine. It's pretty wide, pretty strange looking. Oh, I should mention, this tank is not amphibious. That is actually the BT series of tanks, but not the BTSV. Interestingly, only 2 of these were ever made, and their design was some of it was largely implemented in making the T-34, which is interesting. But now let's have a look at some of the stats. Got 240 HP, which is okay, I guess. Now here's where it gets interesting. 62 kilometers per hour speed limit. A 500 horsepower engine. What's the power to weight ratio in this thing? Where does the power to weight ratio come up? I don't know. Anyway, luckily I know it off the top of my head. It's something like 37.75 power to weight ratio. And that is ridiculous. You will not believe how fast this thing accelerates. And it will almost always reach that 62 kilometers per hour speed limit, even a bit faster. The gun is decidedly okay. The premium ammunition is 800 credits each, I believe. But you need that for... Well, you don't really need that. I'd say you need that largely if you come across a Matilda. Or most tanks really. 51mm of penetration isn't that much, but this tank does get special matchmaking. It will never see tier 5s. Which is good, because it would be largely useless. Unless it was a scout. But because of its speed, the traverse speed makes it so it has quite a large turn-in circle. Which is why I've invested in clutch braking on my driver. High explosive ammunition can actually be quite interesting to use. Since it doesn't lose penetration over distance, it can sometimes be a better choice. I haven't got any on. Turret traverse speed is pretty good. Allows you to circle people, given that you allow enough speed. Allow enough distance, rather. But the armour. 25mm at the front. 20mm on the side of the hull. 16 at the rear. And the turret is all round. 25. The interesting thing is, it's a sloping. Now, this tank will bounce shots like you do not believe. But don't get too cocky. Some of the people I've seen, well, I can't really say that because not many people have been seen driving this tank. People seem to think it's nigh on invincible. It's not exactly Panzer IIJ invincible, but it will bounce a lot of shots. However, most tank destroyers will not struggle to go through you. And particularly irritating are Panzer ICs, especially when they load up that Mauser machine gun full of gold. Anyway, some of the downsides of this tank. Very poor signal and view ranges. They are probably the biggest downsides. So just to counter that, I didn't know what else to pick, so I went with situational awareness and recon. Obviously there's no loader. The command does that as well. And just out of interest, I've got the snapshot on the gunner. Equipment for this tank, I haven't really got a camo net on it for any reason, it's just the only other thing I had. I checked a spall liner on it because I thought that would be interesting to see how well the armour actually acted with the sloping. But I might replace that for enhanced Christie suspension. Or maybe coated optics to try and help out the very poor view range. Don't bother with binocular telescopes, this tank is all about being on the move usually. Enhanced gun lane drive, again, if you're going to be on the move that won't help much. So I'd probably just swap up the camo net for either coated optics or the suspension. Obviously vents, it's only 50,000, it's 5% to all the crew skills. That's enough of the tank itself, I guess. I haven't put camouflage on it yet, so I'm waiting for a weekend where it goes cheap. Unless it is cheap now, is it? No, it's not. That's a shame. But they can wait, I suppose. I'll probably put a few games up of this. More than I usually would, maybe 2 or 3. Just so you can get a feel for what this tank is like. It's no surprise to anybody that I managed to get the Mastery Badge Ace tanker fairly easily, as they probably probably not many of these things driving about the EU servers. Something I wanted to see actually is whether this, yes, you can see all my stats now, whether this has actually, yeah, it is. I didn't think it would actually appear. Interesting. Oh well. Right, without further ado, let's jump into some games. Alright guys, here we are in the BTSV on mines. I know a lot of my replays seem to be on mines lately. Now this is like the 3rd game I've had in this thing. I've already gotten my Mastery Badge because, as you can imagine, there's hardly any people driving this thing. I remember watching Jingle's review of the Panzer IIJ, and he said it was as rare as rocking horse shit. And I would say that goes for the BTSV as well. Anyway, let's see how we do on this fairly small map with this little beauty. I mean, look at that acceleration, it goes like a bloody rocket. I had a game just now, and I was stocking up more replays, where I took 1,000 potential damage. And all the replays I've got, well in fact nearly every game I've had, I've come top of the board, both in experience and damage. Look how quickly I got up here, I beat the Panzer IC up here. I'm still learning how to drive this thing though. It does have terrible gun depression. The rear anyway, but this gun is very punchy. Premium ammo isn't that expensive. I just want to take out this Panzer IC, because if he is using gold then I could go through him. So he takes his tracks off and we just finish him off. The rate of fire on this gun, it fires every 2 seconds. And as you can see, there are some confused people. Rip that Panzer IIIA apart. I'm still worried about the T-18. I know the armour in this thing is bouncy, and I've got a spall liner, but it looks like everything's going for me. So I quickly reverse back up the hill. They do have a few nasty tank destroyers on the other team. I don't have XVM installed, or XVM Stat more specifically, so I can't see how good they are. I don't usually like having XVM installed because it can demoralise you if it looks like your team's going to lose and you just don't play to your full potential, I find. But we start shooting as D2, and everybody knows the D2s are pretty tough nut to crack at the best of times. I put in another shot before I realised that Valentine AT'd him there shooting at me. And I underestimated his rate of fire, so I quickly jumped back behind cover. Because I don't want to die at this point, I'm on 3 kills. And he starts turning his gun here, I think. He thinks I've gone, yep. Jump back and finish him off, because we don't want him staying alive, he's very dangerous. So now I think we'll just stay up here. The camo net we just randomly threw on our tank might actually come in handy, but we are still spotted. As you can see, I think there was artillery that just tried to take us out, well, there's a howitzer of some description. Oh, but look at this tank, it's just beautiful. I can't wait to get my Panzer IIJ next week. Now I know there's a FCM 36 Pak 40 sitting up in the hills, over in K3 I think, or K4. And I want to get this medium 3, but I'm in no position to go scouting, I'm on 34 HP. Now the armour on this thing is bouncy, but not that bouncy. Even if I did recently have a game where I took over 1,000 potential damage in a tier 3 machine. Obviously I'm not stupid enough to try and poke out my head to try and get an angle on the medium 3, so I'm just seeing if I can spot anything from up here, put our camo net to use, if we stayed long enough for it to activate. So we're just hoping the T-82, I'm not sure if he's got the howitzer, I don't think he does. Or has he? Just trying to get a shot on the medium 3. Don't want to die here because we are on 4 kills. Trying to get a shot on the T-18, but we can't, not from this angle. Maybe a shot on the 36 Pak 40, because I know the medium 3 isn't keen to come up here. We get one shot at him, just check another one there, see if we can do anything. And now we pop out and finish off the medium 3. I feel a bit guilty nicking the kill off the T-82, but what are you going to do? I think he's quite annoyed there. But I'm getting all the kills. But the thing is that people probably don't realise of these lower tiers is that all the damage actually comes from, doing damage. All the experience comes from doing damage. I shoot him, miss the D2 and hit the Bison, so I thought, oh well, may as well finish off the Bison first. Now we go back to the D2, one shot into him, and finish him off. Ammo rack, no less. So now we're sitting here on 7 kills. And that is no joke for a tier 3 machine. We try and get a clutch shot into him, but it misses. If he'd waited a little bit longer, could have got 8 kills, maybe 9. I'm not sure if the T-82 is having to go at us or not, or if he's coming, or if he's speaking a different language or something. I'm sorry, check in the chat as the game's about to end, and this thing is awesome, because it is. This is my first, truly excellent game in it. Now, one more replay for you that's worth watching, so we'll jump straight into that. Here's our second replay on the Severogorsk. In a tier 4 battle, as I think I mentioned in the garage that this thing has premium matchmaking, so it'll never go up against tier 5s. The toughest tank this BTSV will face will be a Matilda, and I think with premium ammunition this thing still has a problem getting through it. So I decided I'm going to dash straight over to the eastern side. because I don't expect many people to go there. And again, just see the fantastic acceleration of this thing. Goes like an absolute rocket. 64 kilometers an hour. It's unbelievable. Although I wish they'd implement an option to change the kilometers per hour into miles per hour. I suppose I could do the calculations myself, but what's the point of that? So it's fairly quiet so far, until Panzer 3A, I think that is. As you can see, he's bouncing a hell of a lot of his shots. We just keep shooting at him and see strange, he disappears. Get a shot on the Marder 2. And just seeing what we can see. Pull back a little bit and see if we can get a shot into the... what tanks are the... M7 Priest. Finish him off, and T-28 destroys the Panzer 3A we shot at. And here we're just basically sniping things. I should have been more aware of what was going on around me on this side of the hill, rather than just shooting premium shell after premium shell into this little M5 Stuart trying to kill it. But we do get the kill. We use quite a lot of premium shells this game though. You can really run through them. But it doesn't matter too much because generally in this thing you always make a profit. And I don't really play this thing to make credits, I just play it for the fun. Try and make the BTSV a little less rare. Because up until now I'd never seen one. I don't think I've ever seen an MTLS, a BTSV, a Panzer 2J. Certainly haven't seen an Su-85I. So we get a shot out here from the other side of the valley, so quickly repair my tracks and pull back down. Although I'm pretty sure I can get my hands on a Panzer 2J for next week. I probably will try and get the Su-85I and the MTLS as well, but I think they're going to be more difficult to obtain. I'm not sure if they are still included in those gift package things. But I do have a source, you know, ways and means and all that rubbish. So I switch back to normal ammunition now, seeing that we've expended, what, 28 shells. Just try and get a little shot on the T-28 over there. I think we just ding off one of the little observation devices on top of it. When he decides to pull back, he's getting lit up by something else. So what better way to finish off the game than to charge into their base and try and take out their artillery? Oh, I see the Matilda there, so I decided to duck down into here. I think I'll start putting... I wouldn't use hardly any of the normal ammunition. I think I'll split it evenly between high explosives and APCR. Quickly finish off the Sturmpanzer 2. And we get destroyed by the Hetze here, I think. Try and get one shot into him, but alas, it didn't work. He gets destroyed. And that's the end of that replay. So I won't bother going back to the garage now, but I will have another replay up shortly. I know it's been a while since I reviewed the Dickermax, and incidentally I can't believe I forgot to mention the most important part of the Dickermax in that video. The best aspect of that tank is not only its gun, it's its gun depression. It has the best gun depression out of all the premium tanks, probably. It's incredible. You really have to see it to believe it. Which is a shame because I didn't show it. Anyway, another tank review will be coming up soon. Probably going to stop the Fallout, at least for a while, because that doesn't seem to be getting much attention. As I said, send me your replays via worldoftanks.com. If you want me to make an instructional video, I can make an instructional video showing you how to put them up onto the website and send them to me for commentating. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more of the BTSV, I will be happy to oblige, since I've already reviewed it. I can just chuck a few random games together for you. And it is a rare tank, so I'd like to showcase it at least a few times. And next week, we'll see if we can review the Panzer IIJ. If we can't review the Panzer IIJ, I will probably be reviewing an artillery. It's either going to be the GW Tiger P, which I still haven't got the Top Gun for, or something lower, maybe like the AMX 105 AM. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Scopetactics, and I'll see you next time.